okay, so how to solve problem number one. Problem number one is leads, okay? Now the way you solve that, guys, is you do the two. Now I'm gonna go through this very quick because I'm trusting that you guys are subscriber, you have a YouTube account and you can watch this over and over at your heart's content. And I do want to be able to answer questions too. So the number one problem is leads, and the way you solve that problem is you do the two, okay? By the way, what does that mean, do the two? That means that you're going to do 2 hours of lead generation every single day, okay? Every single day from 9 to 11. I'll unpack that a little bit more. But here's what I want you to think about. I want you to choose your lead generation activities based on your personality profile, okay? Now, Haley, nobody ever taught this to me when I got into business. What they told me was, pick up the phone and start making calls. Just call. Well, guess what, Haley? I'm an introvert. I don't like making cold calls, okay? Now, one of the first things I did when I got into business was I purchased RedX, right? Because I wanted to get those expired leads. And it was unique for me because I was able to send letters, postcards, and then, so I worked the expired business. A lot of people don't realize that the depth of detail that you get from RedX is so great that you can work it the way that is designed around you, okay? And no matter what it is, you can work that around your personality profile. So I like to use the DISC, okay, the DISC profile. If you don't know what your DISC is, you can go to my website, knolly.com, and don't go there now. We're in training right now. Don't go there now. I know a lot of my coaching students are like squirrels. They're like, oh, let me go over. Knolly say go over here. No, not yet, not yet. But you can take the personality profile test for free. My favorite 4-letter word, free. And that way you kind of know who you are. You know your personality profile. And it turns out, for me, I'm not a high D. So high Ds are really good at making cold calls. So I have a lot of people in my group that make 100 cold calls a day. They love it. That just isn't me. I'm a high on the SC scale. I'm more of an engineer. So I took my business in a little bit different direction and was still highly successful. So another thing that we use is a system called Wealth Dynamics. And Wealth Dynamics is another system that you can kind of tap into to know what your personality profile. The big difference is in Wealth Dynamics there's like 8 profiles, whereas in DISC there's 4. Okay, so that's kind of the big difference there. So why is lead generation important? Okay, so let's talk about this. So look at this right here, paycheck down to lead generate. But look at the very top, you see paycheck. That's what we all want. We all want the paycheck, okay? But in order to have a paycheck, you gotta have a closing. And in order to get a closing, you have to have a contract. In order to have a contract, you have to have an offer. In order to have an offer, you have to have a listing. In order to have a listing, you have to have a client. And in order to have a client, you have to have a lead. And in order to have a lead, you've got to lead generate, okay? It's so important to your business, and yet I was at our Thanksgiving party a couple weeks ago, and I walked up to an agent. She was like, I'm not doing too well. Can you give me some? I said, are you lead generating? No. Okay, well, let's start there. Let's do that first, and then So prospecting equals paychecks, and not prospecting equals poverty. There's really no other way I could say it. If you're not tapping in, if you're not taking advantage of the tools that you have at your disposal, the tools that RedX provides, then you're not succeeding, period. Or you're not succeeding at the level you should be, put it that way.